Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. We have an update on the story of Jonathan Price, who was recently killed by police while trying to intervene and stop a domestic dispute. This young man, 31 years old, was basically trying to be a problem solver, but in the process of being a problem solver, he was first tased and then shot dead by an officer who basically didn't have any type of reason whatsoever, because when Jonathan was, he had no reason whatsoever to shoot him. Jonathan was walking away from him in a non-threatening way, basically to even show surrender, like, hey, what are you doing all of this for? Obviously, the officer must have came in with an aggressive attitude. And this is why the article was saying that he resisted in a non-threatening posture and began walking away. But I don't even like to say resisting. When you say resisting, that shows that you're putting up some type of fight. He was walking away. But anyway, this is how they word things sometimes to show that, look, even that little bit of resistance can cost you your life, right? These are the issues we face in this country. Now, I do know the backstory behind this young man and some posts that he's made on the internet. I covered the story initially where he actually said that he's into white women, you see, and not so much into black. But that aside, we understand all of the ins and outs of this as it relates to the Most High, but covering the human aspect of the story, this officer obviously had something going on the inside of him in order for him to respond to this man who was very non-threatening in his actions. He was basically, as I stated before, basically trying to break up a dispute between others. This wasn't his dispute. He was trying to break up a dispute. But this officer, as many of them do, they see a black face and they respond to that, because we've seen time after time after time after time after time where these officers are literally facing a threat by white individuals, whether it's a man or a woman, old or young, and they are doing everything within their power not to tase, not to take down, not to shoot, not to do anything. I mean, even in cases where this person is very threatening to them. I've seen officers being chased by white people and they are trying not to do anything, even though there is a threat there. Recently, there was a case where an officer was just begging and pleading this guy to, get out of the car, get out of the car. And they went on and on and on and on for minutes. And finally, when things reached a boiling point, the guy somehow got a hold of one of the officer's guns and shot both of them. One of them lost their lives. Now, the other one, I'm not sure what his status is at the time. He was critical. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Even when a so-called black man is unthreatening in his actions, they see him as a threat. And they don't just put in one bullet. Many times they unload. You see, so that's some type of built-up rage that we are seeing. I remember there was a case where there was a husband and wife in Cincinnati, I believe, and they were in their vehicle. And several officers felt the need to put 110 rounds into the vehicle. Now, is that a person who felt like they had to do this? I mean, what was that? Did they want a reason to just fire that many rounds? Because I can't believe that they didn't think I'm just going to throw a number out there, 20? You don't think 20 shots was enough to do the job? So when you keep going and you reach 50 rounds, and then you get to 60, and you've put out 70 and then 80. That wasn't enough, huh? You had to put out 90 rounds, 100. Okay, you get to 110 and you say, oh, that should have done the job. We are dealing with something else here. When you feel the need to unload that many rounds into two people, a husband and a wife, and it turned out it wasn't even what they thought it was. It was another case of, oops, we thought. But yet, so-called black people are still expected to do what? Respect, honor, and forgive a system that is stacked against them. So in this case, we are seeing that the officer was arrested, but in times past, we've seen where situations will come about where even an arrest doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean a thing. So, that being said, it is what it is in this country. I mean, we feel very deeply and very sad about these things. I mean, it's really horrible what we witness on a day-to-day basis, and the words behind it, words like get over it and shoulda, coulda, woulda. If you hadn't resisted, I mean, even cases where you don't resist, there's always going to be those who will justify. This is because we are dealing with minds that are reprobate. They cannot connect to the truth. They cannot connect to reality, and they have no type of sympathy whatsoever for those with dark skin. None. They can't even muster it up. That is a sad reality that we live in. We can try to whine and moan about this until the cows come home, but we have to understand one thing that the scripture has stated about this, that perpetual hatred was prophesied. It was said that they would have this perpetual hatred that would burn in them forever, and many of them can't help it. And don't think that I'm making excuses. For those of you who don't believe in the Bible or read the Bible, I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you that sounds just about right to me, that they can't muster up any type of sympathy because their heart have been hardened. This is why this man shot Jonathan Price when he was not threatening to him at all. Not at all. But he felt the need to take this man's life. That felt good to him. But in this case, he was arrested. So we will see where all of this goes. If it will go further, if he will actually do a reasonable amount of time, we will see. But that is all I have for now, as we wait for the outcome on yet another case. As we wait for that outcome, I am going to say that is all for now. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share and like this video, and with that, I am out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.